Hey, Freddie. You always get to do the intros. I thought it would be something really fun to do for this one.
Be my guest.
Okay. Actually, I thought it'd be really funny if I go with a joke. Are you ready? Okay. What do you call it when Batman skips church?
Christian Bale.
What the fuck? You heard this one? All right, right. It's fine. I got another one. Hold on, let me think. What disease do you get when you decorate for Christmas?
Tonsillitis.
What? All right. Fuck you. Ready for this? Why don't they play poker in the jungle?
Why?
Because there's too many cheetahs.
Ugh.
Welcome to another edition of Sweet Nothings Podcast with your hosts, Tony and Freddie.
Hello, everybody. It has been quite the Christmas vacation and holidays, and we apologize, but we are back in action. I am Tony, as you know, this is Sweet Nothings Podcast with Tony and Freddie. Don't know if I actually need to do the intro, but fuck it, we're doing it anyways. Hello, stranger. And your name?
I'm Freddie Miller from Elyria, Ohio.
Oh, Freddie. Hi, I missed you so. How are things going?
Things are good, Tone.
Yeah? How's Christmas holidays and what have yous?
Ooh,
Sick
it's
of the
been
family?
that long, huh?
Yeah. I think we got like one show in somewhere in there, and then all that holiday
It's a
business.
whole new year, dude.
I know, I'm like exhausted of the family.
Are you?
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, it was nice to, I've actually got like a week or so break.
Yeah.
I love them.
How's 2018 treating you?
Ooh. It's good so far, actually. I have no complaints for these
That's
past
good.
2 weeks.
That's good.
Yeah.
I have a lot of complaints.
Do you?
Yeah, I won't bore you with them, though.
Okay. All right. I mean, anytime you feel like you have something, just throw it right at me.
Do you have any resolutions?
No, I don't bother with that shit.
I know.
I
like
just
you
kind
said
of
that before, but well, maybe I got some resolutions for you. I got a list here of things that I think you should change about yourself.
All right, maybe we should talk about it after the show.
I'm just teasing you, Tone.
There was something shitty that did happen during that holiday period. I did actually end up tweaking my back.
Oh, no.
Playing handball, as gay as that sounds.
I was wondering, was it on those, a couple of really nice days? Or do you play handball inside somewhere?
No, we play inside.
Where at?
Over at the rec center at 65th and Lorraine.
Even in the summer?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you that. You brought up another thing I was going to ask you about, because you're always playing handball. I thought there was some outdoor courts here.
Oh, no. We do kickball during the summer, on our Sundays. And then, during the week, me and, Rev Kev, Jacob, and, other people, we can alternate. We'll play handball.
Oh, so you tweaked your back.
Yeah, so it was right because we get the court for an hour to an hour and a half, and right towards the end there, I just really dove in to hit the ball, and I just tweaked my back wrong, and so I was like, "Ooh, that didn't feel good at all." So I was like, "Hold on, guys," and I just bent over just to see if there's any pain. I was like, "Yep, I'm done."
Really?
Yeah, I was like, we only had 5 minutes left, but I was like, I'm done. I can't play anymore.
Lower back?
Yeah, right in the middle, in the small of the back. So I got home, and I went to take my shoes off, and I couldn't even bend over. So I just laid on the floor for
really?
10 minutes.
It's like a sitcom, like a shitty sitcom.
Yeah. And I was like, "Oh God, this is awful." I had to lay roll around my side and move my legs up as close as I could to my face so I can reach down and untie my shoes. And then I just laid there for another 20 minutes, and
no.
Garrison came downstairs, and he's like, "What the fuck are you doing laying by the front door?" And I was like, "I hurt my back, Gar.
No.
I can't move." He just laughs at me, grabs a beer and goes back upstairs. I was like, "No," I was like, "Don't leave me here." Fine, Garrison, save yourself.
It was that bad, huh?
Oh yeah, it sucked really bad, and it was like that for a couple of weeks. Now it's better. Depending if I'm sitting too long in a certain chair, I could feel pains, but for the most part, I'm able to be active again.
Man, that sucks.
I did try this.
How long did it last? Like the pain last?
About 2 to 3 weeks.
2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
God damn.
And I did try this thing called cryotherapy.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I did a Facebook Live of it too. So like, when you get in there, you go in this room and you get down into just your skeevies.
Yeah.
And then the lady gave me a pair of gloves and like some like high socks and like some like fuzzy slippers.
Yeah.
And then you go in this giant chamber, and they had to like raise the floor up because you have to keep your head above the top there. And I'm only 5'7".
Tone
so.
needed a booster seat.
Yeah. So they get in there and they start dropping the degrees like to really fucking cold.
Oh, really?
And
it gets colder on you? I thought it was already cold.
No, it starts blasting cold air on you. So I'm just in there pretty much naked except for my underwear, and it got to a negative and 178 degrees. So it was cold as shit. And I was in there for 3 minutes, and then afterwards I got out and I got dressed, and then they had you sit in this like giant leather recliner. And like those like when you get your blood pressure done, you get the thing how it like squeezes around your arm. Well, she's like, you could do this around your legs, your arms. She's like, I wouldn't suggest doing it around your body because of your back. So I had him do my legs, and so I just laid there. And as she was like putting them on, because I had to like put my hand on her shoulder while she slipped them on and zipped it up, and I noticed that like my feet were like stepping like on the bottom part of the leg, like and the foot. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna pull this up, and she goes, I wouldn't do that, and I go, oh, I have really little legs, so I'm not reaching. She's like, it's gonna tighten up and it's gonna
squish your nards.
Squish your essentially.
It's gonna squish your nards.
Your nards. So I was like, oh yeah, I don't want that to happen. So I like moved him back down. I laid there, and then so like for 10 minutes it like compresses like and then lets go, and you can adjust like the tightness of it. And so like that first one was really it was coming through and like tightening up, and I was like getting real paranoid. I was like pushing it down. I was like, oh god.
Weird at first.
I was like holding my balls up, like God, please don't squish these in there. Which was cool. But it didn't really do anything for me because it's more for like inflammation and like muscle stuff, and it wasn't the problem that my back had. But I'm glad that's over, and that is left behind in 2017.
Yeah?
So 2018.
You're doing good.
Doing good. Yeah, new back.
That's
good back.
Awesome. I was going to ask you, like, because I know you play handball and kickball all summer long, and then I haven't heard much about it recently. I think you guys stopped because of football or whatever.
Yeah.
I was wondering how what you do to beat the winter blues, because I can go into a deep, dark depression in the winter.
Oh.
I can really bury myself and hibernate.
What we've been doing is essentially just trading out, because a lot of the people that played, they're like, because we would always play at 1 o'clock, and which is normally like when the Browns game starts. So they're like, a lot of people are like, I'm going to skip this week. I'm going to go watch the Browns game. So we'd end up not having enough people to play. So everyone's like, well, fuck it. We're already drinking while we're playing kickball. We might as well just go to the bar and still hang out together. So we're just trading kickball in for watching the Browns lose every week. And then as of recently, we're like, oh, well, we'll let's start doing bowling every Sunday.
Yeah.
So that's the game plan. Now that football's over, we were going to try to do that last Sunday, this one that just passed. And the one place we want to go to on a weekly basis had like leagues and birthday parties. So we're like, oh, we'll go to this other one. The real trendy one that, you have to rate your own scores and the bartenders suck and the beers are expensive. That one. We get there at 1 and I go to walk in the bar waiting for everyone to show up, and the dude's like, bar's closed. I go, what? Till what time? He's like 3 o'clock. Like, why are you even open then? Like, who wants to be here if the bar's not open?
Sober bowl.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Middle of it, like the sun's high in the sky.
Yeah. It was cold as shit outside.
I have a problem with like bowling if the sun's out. Like, it just doesn't feel like something I should be doing.
Well, what we end up doing is there's a place called Forest City Shuffleboard over in like Ohio City.
You talked about that before.
Yeah, so we got everybody together and we did like the floor shuffleboard.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of fun. They have a full bar. The drinks are priced well. And it's cheap to play. It's like $7 per person for the hour.
That's cool.
And we got there, I guess between 12 and 3 is like their happy hour. So the games were actually half off. So everyone got to play for $3.50 for the hour, which is really sweet.
Yeah.
So that was a nice little change of pace. And then so probably this Sunday we'll start kicking in with the bowling.
That's good. Bowling's fun. You don't realize it until you go again. You know?
Right.
If I went every week, I'd probably get tired of it, but I go so, once or twice a year.
Right.
It's like, this is a good time. We should do this more often.
That's how I am too. I don't really, I mean, I'm not great at it, but it's still fun.
Yeah. You know who's great at it? Those people that bowl when the sun's high in the sky. Those people that have no shame, that don't care that the bar's not open.
Right.
Those people are good.
They have their own ball.
Yeah.
They have their own shoes. They have their own outfits.
You ever see them like flexing on people, like getting all the attention? Like it's just strike after strike after strike, and you're like, "That's awesome, dude. This is your sanctuary. This is your place to be." But outside of these walls, you're just another fucko like the rest of us. You know?
Yeah. And it's like that's why I love Kingpin so much.
Oh, that's a great movie.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I forget where I was going with that, but
so we've had like crazy weird weather. And it's been like in Elyria anyways, it's been snow day. Like that first week back to school that started like Tuesday through Friday, they didn't even have like school.
Yeah, my siblings were going through the same thing.
Yeah. So I went to one of the trampoline parks.
Okay.
Have you been to one of these?
I've been to one of them. Sky Zone, I think, is the one I went to.
Westlake.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one they have one in Elyria now.
Okay.
And I had the time of my life. I was like, this is so much fun.
Did you sing the song too? I had
No.
the time of my life.
No. You know what they sang to us while we were there was it was just like the Disney station, like Pandora Disney.
Okay.
So
I
it was
imagine
like
there's a lot of little kids.
Yeah, and luckily I'm there with my nephew and niece, you know. So I'm not like creeping on just a bunch of little kids, but I'm like, this is the best time ever. You can just bounce off of anything.
Yeah.
And but it is a little creepy if it wasn't for them. It's like just a grown man jumping up and down while they play Disney songs.
Well, not to be creepy or anything, but we actually went for Nathan's birthday.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I believe it was his 30th birthday, and it was just us couple dudes.
That's pretty fun, though.
Yeah. So we're bouncing around in those like little areas, and like wherever you went, they have like the foam balls that you just kind of like throw at each other.
Yeah.
Okay.
They had like a foam pit, and I actually went twice because there's a lot of snow days. But the first time there was nobody there, and it was awesome. We had like run of the place, and you know we're throwing the foam things all around, and they had like the dodgeball area and the dodgeballs everywhere.
Right.
It's a lot of fun, and it's a crazy workout.
It is.
Like if you jump up and down for 2 hours, it hurts the next day.
Oh yeah. Like after like 10 minutes, I was exhausted.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, how mumuch longer are we here for? Another hour? Oh.
Oh wow.
Okay. Yeah. No, this is fine.
Yeah.
I'll be fine.
But that's because I'm always looking for a way to like be active in the winter. I'm even like gonna get a gym membership this year, just like a regular. One of those 24-hour places.
Right.
Because I got to beat the winter blues. I go crazy just being inside all the time.
Well, I mean, it's not really active, but if you want some Sundays, just to get out of the house and do something, I
might do that. Might meet you guys out.
Yeah, it's a place right over here in Lakewood, too. It's not far from my house. It's a few blocks away, so...
That's fun.
Just so you can...
I always thought you guys were playing outside because I always seen outside handball courts. I just assumed you were.
So. No. I mean, if you're playing outside, that's like prison handball. You only have like a wall.
You know where I seen that? Lorraine. Yeah.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
No, we play inside, so we have 4 walls, and, it kind of makes things fun and competitive. And then, when the ball's fucking bouncing around, you don't have to fucking run and go fucking chase the ball and then try to bring it all the way back and then try to continue.
Yeah.
You can just kind of keep going, It's a fucking blast, man. It's a full body workout. It's fun. It's competitive. We do that on Wednesdays. So if you're like, hey, I'm free on Wednesday, fucking, just come to my house and I'll fucking take you up there.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
What else? Do you do anything else? Do you have a winter depression thing or no?
No, I don't have time to be like the depression part to kick in.
Yeah.
Like my.
Oh, depression doesn't care what time you got, Tony. But you're kind of like you're not outdoorsy guy, anyways. The most time you spend outdoors is from bar to bar.
That's probably true.
You're not outdoorsy, and you're not like all that athletic. Like those are two things that kill me.
See, like outdoorsy stuff. I don't mind going camping like during the summer, and like going like paddle boating and stuff. Like that's
Paddle boating.
Is that what it's called?
Yep.
Is that it? Or what do they call it?
Like canoeing or
cabrewing? Yeah.
kayaking.
Yeah, kayaking, things of that sort. Like that's fine. I don't mind doing that, but I don't want to do it all the time. And as far as like the winter time goes, it really does fuck everything up as far as trying to be outside doing things. But like, I do spend my times. It's usually I have my routines. Like, well, this day we're going to get wings and going to the bar, and then this night is handball, and then this, and this night is, and then obviously then I'm working, and then it's like, and then we tried like replace doing the bowling and stuff like that. So I try to just keep myself busy. So, and then when I do have those days where I'm like, oh, I can just lay around on my couch for like 5 or 6 hours, then I'm just like, fuck yeah. And then
Play
just get
video
myself,
games or whatever.
Yeah, at video games or caught up in a show or something,
Yeah. See, I don't enjoy TV or anything like that if I don't get to like, I ran myself like injured. I ran myself to injury over the summer.
Okay.
And I can't. I don't get to sit down and enjoy like an hour of something unless I'm like my body's tired.
Okay.
So
if your body's not feeling it,
yeah.
you're like, I need to go do something.
Yeah.
So
in the winter time when it snows and it's done snowing and I get to shovel. Granted, now I have to shovel 3 different driveways, but I like shoveling because I'm like, oh, that's some exercise I can get outside. Or I go hiking. Whenever I can, I'll go on like a wintertime hike.
Yikes.
But
good for you on that. I would never do that.
It's not good for me because it's like I'll go crazy if I don't. You know what I mean? I gotta get active in some way.
No, yeah, I get it. And I remember you mentioning this. Like that's why you go running and shit like that, just to kind of kill all that off.
I have an insatiable appetite. Like I could just eat anything now. Like as soon as like it's dark all the time, I'm like I'm just never not hungry. I'm just gonna eat everything in the house.
Grocery bill must be huge.
It's just bring whatever you got, just bring it here and I'll shove it in my face.
All kinds of snacks and Sammys and stuff.
Oh, snacks sound good.
Yeah, dude.
Do you get that at all? Like, I could just eat any fried food right now. Just bring it here and I'll eat an entire table of it.
No. I mean, there's times
I'm a caveman. I think I'm like my body's telling me to hibernate.
Yeah.
It's like you need to eat a bunch of food, just sleep for 4 months.
That makes a lot of sense.
That explains this Neanderthal brow I have. My long dumb arms and half Neanderthal.
Well, while we're talking about you, let's talk about your beard.
Oh yeah.
So you had this giant.
I don't want to talk about me. Let's just focus all on me.
Yeah. So you had that giant,
As you
terrorist.
describe them, terrorist. As you call them, fuck you beards.
Yeah, fuck off beards.
Fuck off beards.
Yeah. So you had your giant ISIS beard, and then you shaved it off, and then you posted on Instagram with your bloody face, just baby face. I haven't even seen you baby face since probably Bunt's house.
Yeah.
Because there was a little gap that we were kind of all caught up in our own shit and we didn't see each other, but when we started running into each other and hanging out again.
I always had a beard of some sort.
Right.
What I do is I just let it grow.
Let it
this
grow,
time.
Let it grow.
You got all the cool songs. So I let it grow ridiculous and then I just trim it back. You know? This time I was like, I wonder what I look like completely shaven.
Man, I'm too scared to go baby face again.
No, you don't like it?
No, it's really baby face. Like I look like a fucking teenager.
I don't give a shit. It's like I didn't give a shit when it was a big, long, gross beard,
Right.
The reason why I shaved it was because it got so long that it folds back up into my own mouth when I sleep. Like, you
Like
move
in a
your head down. You imagine you got your head on your pillow, right? And then you, like, move your head down. Like, all this beard goes right up in your dumb
crunches
face.
up.
Yeah, you just breathe it in your own face.
I like to picture you when you're sleeping is like...
You like to picture me sleeping. Let's just leave it at that.
Like in the cartoons, like there's like the character that'll have like a long beard, and then they're snoring. So like when they're inhaling, the beard just comes up into like their mouth or in their face.
Yeah.
And then they blow it out. Yeah. Whoo, then
Yeah.
it like rolls out, but like and you inhale, then it like actually like it rolls
up.
up. It curls up all the way up to the bottom of your chin, and then when you blow out, it just goes back out. That's how I like to picture how your sleeping process when you had that beard.
There's nothing dignified about it once you got a big beard like that, and then like so it folds back up in your face. You're lucky if you don't get any of it in your mouth. And then when you wake up, you got a pillow mark on your chin. So you wake up, like, for whatever reason. Like, I wake up and let the dogs out. And then I got
Who
this
did?
big, like...
Who did? Who let the dogs out? You did?
That's a good question.
Oh, okay.
People have been wondering that for years. And I got, like, this, like, pillow mark, this dent of beard in my face.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, I'm also not the guy that takes care of beards, you
Right.
know? I'm not going to have the oil and the brush and all this other... No.
Yeah.
So I just cut it back, and then I'll just grow it again, and then cut it back and grow it again.
Okay, so you have your own process.
I treat it like, like a lawn.
But it's like a shifty, like Lorraine yard where you just let it get out of control, and then you're only cutting it because the city's left you notices to.
And you're like, I wonder, am I still in there? Am I still behind all that? I wanted to be a bald-faced liar again. That's what it was. Where I've been telling people that I got tired of looking like the wanted posters.
Mikey's one of those dudes that Mikey's beard's it's getting like ZZ Top-ish, and it's nice when I hug him because he does use all the oils and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you smell delicious, Michael.
Was that lavender?
Yeah. And but Disaster is the same way as you are. Like he lets it grow out really far, and then he'll cut it all down to something extreme. Like I think he's been rocking like the Lemmy for a while now.
Oh, I
like,
got a great picture of me like that.
Yeah, where like the chin shaves, so you just have like your chops that come down and then just connect into your mustache.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been rocking that for a while. Yeah, and it actually suits him very well.
I made sure to take pictures of me with every one of them, and the grossest one is a pencil-thin mustache.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so I won't show you now because nobody wants to hear about it, but I look pretty badass, Tone. I looked pretty badass.
You look like, what's his name?
There's my Lemmy picture.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good Lemmy. What's the John? I think John something. He's like
Waters.
John Waters. Yeah. Nice cookie catcher.
Yeah, right.
Or a push broom.
That's what that is. A push broom. That's what my dad had like my whole childhood.
Yeah.
He just cut it off at the corner of the mouth.
My dad always has a pencil mustache, just like a real thin line. Yeah, right above the lip.
Shave it down.
Oh yeah. So like the top of the mustache is all shaved. It's just right above his lip. He's got a pencil mustache.
That's a tough look, dude.
Yeah. And then he shaves, like, the beard's always shaved, but he keeps the little
soul patch.
The little soul patch, yeah. So that's a silly way to live your life, but that's my dad.
Good for him.
Yeah. Big old Dago.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, as far as mine goes, I'll let mine get like a little like fluffed out, to the point where like I'll be sitting at work bored and I start like twisting it into like little like beard spikes.
Yeah.
And then I pull them all out, or I'll like be like pushing it up and then letting it look ridiculous. And then I'm like, okay, it's time to shave. And then I'll trim it down, and it's kind of that's my process.
Yeah.
I don't let it get out like really crazy anymore.
That was probably the worst I've had mine, I think, ever. I don't. I've had a couple. It's always in the winter. It's just a big depression beard.
Yeah.
Springtime rolls around. You know what sucks is like when you grow a beard like that in the summer. And I was worried about this for a wedding I was in. I thought they were going to make me shave my beard, or ask me to. And I was like, that skin tone is going to be a totally different skin tone than up here.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think of that.
So I was a little worried about that. But whatever.
Yeah,
roll
well,
the
now
dice.
it's the winter time. All that tan is all
because
going
I get
down.
really dark. Like I get really dark in the summer. Like I look Middle Eastern in the summer and seasick in the winter. That's my complexion.
Yeah, I can't do baby face anymore. Like when I used to work at Mark's, like a long time ago, the only thing you were allowed to have was a mustache
It's
because
so
Mark
weird.
Glassman had a mustache. But that was it. You weren't allowed to have any beard. Like even if you had like just the process of it starting to come in, they would either give you razors to go in the bathroom and shave,
No way.
or they'd send you home. Oh yeah.
Jesus.
So like they'd be like, "Here, you need to go up and shave that." I'm like, "Oh no." And they're like, "Well, then you have to go home." I was like, "Okay, see you tomorrow." And then I would just leave. So I'm like, "Fuck that."
My old man, I told you before he was like sick my whole childhood,
Mm-hmm.
and he had a heart transplant and everything. But at one point at one point he was in a coma, right?
Okay.
And he went in with a beard, and I think with all the stuff that they were using on him, they had to shave his beard off of him, and it was like the nurses that shaved his beard off of him, and it was a big, gross, fuck off beard like mine,
Mm-hmm.
and his skin tone was different. It looked like clearly like a white, like this was a white boy, and everything else was, ISIS.
Above like the cheekbones. Yeah.
And the doctor was like going through everything with my mom, like talking about things, and he was like, "Yeah, but I can't explain like the jaundice to his face." And she was like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Yeah, I don't know what his oxygen levels are okay. Why is his face two different colors?" And she was like, "Oh, that's because he had a beard when he came in here, and they shaved it off of him." But it was that extreme.
Yeah. Wow, that's a huge difference.
Also, another thing, I think he was in a coma. Yeah, he was in a coma another time, and he took a steroid that made his hair like grow like crazy, right?
Okay.
So he fell asleep or whatever, went under in whatever coma, him, right? And when he woke up, he looked down at his arms, and the hair just grew like crazy. He had little afros on his knuckles.
Oh,
just
jeez.
and he was like, "What the fuck happened? I'm waking up like a wolf man." So
That's quite the shocker.
yeah, can you imagine that? You just wake up like, who is this guy?
I think I'd be more upset that they were shaving my beard while I was sleeping.
Yeah, right.
I'd be like, "Why didn't you let that shit grow? How long was I here for?"
Bring me in a sun lamp.
Yeah.
Gotta tan up.
Now you're gonna make me look ridiculous
Yeah.
in front of all these people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was the least of his worries at the time.
Yeah. I mean, that's what's nice, like working at the bar. I don't have to worry about.
No.
I can literally like dress however I want to. I mean, I try to remain handsome, for
You
the
do a good
patrons,
job
of
with that,
course.
Tone.
Yeah. Thank you. But it's nice that I don't have to. If I want to grow a big fuck off beard, I can. If I want to go babyface, I can. Or I just keep, how I got it going on right now. It's good, Actually, speaking of the bar, just recently there was a night. It was like super crazy. It's a Saturday night, right? Okay, and oh nope, I take that back. I think I was working by myself, so I had to be during the week. This was actually Christmas Day that this happened. So I had to open the bar at 9, and I was working by myself. I didn't really know what to expect and how it was going to be.
9 a.m.?
No, 9 p.m.
p.m.? Okay.
Yeah, so like if it was going to be crazy, if it was going to be dead. Turns out it was pretty nuts. I had a lot of people in there, and I'm like, slinging drinks and making gyros and whatever. And at some point, one of my regulars is like, "Hey, there's some girls that have been in the bathroom for like 15 minutes. I'm like, "What the fuck?" And so a friend of mine, that was a girl, she went over there like waiting to go pee, and I was like, "Hey, knock on the door." And then so she knocked on the door, and then one girl peeks her head out and like looks around, and I was like, "Hey!" And she looks around, I was like, "What's going on with that girl in there?" It's like she passed out, she puking. I was like, "What's going on?" And then she's like, "Hold on a second," and then shuts the door. I'm like, "What the fuck?" So then, like, after a few minutes, they, like, come out, and the one girl's, like, kind of, like, weeble wobbling through. I'm like, "Oh, for
I
fuck's sake."
just gave birth.
Yeah. Someone better get a mop. Get something to grab up that placenta. So then the girl that was like helping her, you know, probably holding her hair or whatever, comes over to the bar and she's like, can I get 2 gyros to go for me and my boyfriend? And I was like, sure. And I was like, you want everything on him? And she's like, I do. I don't know what he likes, so if he doesn't like it, he can just pick it off. It'll be fine. And I was like, okay, fine. So she gives me her card. I close the tab. That's all she had was the 2 gyros, right? And I give her her papers so she can tip and sign. So then I go back and I start making the gyros, and then I'm like making drinks, and she stops me and she's like, hey, she's like, can I get an itemized receipt? And I look back and I was like, oh, actually, I don't know how to do that. With the way our computer system's set up, and which is dumb. I don't know why you need an itemized receipt. You have 2 gyros. It's $15.
Yeah,
so you
I
divide
was
that
gonna
by
say,
2. What do you need? Yeah.
If it's more than $20,
Right. And
something's wrong.
Exactly. And so she's like, well, what POS system are you using? And I was like, good question. You know what? It's already like set up when I get in here. And she's like, well, how do you sign in? And I go, again, I was like, it's already signed in like when I get there. And I was like, listen, the owner's going to be here in a couple of minutes. When he gets here,
You
I'll
can
have,
ask him all these ridiculous
I'll have him
questions.
do all this for
Yeah.
you. And she's like, and I see her like scratching, like Xing off shit like on the tab that she was signing on. I was like, cool.
I'll just put you down for a $5 tip.
So then I'm like, all right. So now I'm like kind of a little worked up, and I'm already stressed out because I have like 30 people in there. I'm by myself. It's like a Saturday night working by yourself. And and which is fine if you're only bartending. Like, I love that chaos. But when you have to cook, that really throws a fucking wrench in the wheel, and that takes time, and like it fucks everything up. Because you're worried about not burning food while you're making drinks while the food's cooking, you know? So I go back there, and, you know, the owner shows up, and he's like, what's going on, man? You okay? And I was like, you know, this and that. And I was like, it's fine. I was like, got this handled. And he's like, what's going on with that chick down there? Because I can hear her screaming down at the bar. And so, and I didn't know what. I was like, at the time, I was like, I don't know what the hell she's screaming about. This girl's hammered.
I'm just going to ignore it.
So, like, he comes over, and I was like, yeah, I was like, this fucking cunt this and this cunt that. He's like, shh. And I was like, fucking bitch, this cunt bitch. And he's like, shh, keep your voice down. I was like, I don't know, dude. I was like, I'm going to finish cooking up the food. He's like, all right, I'll go talk to her. So he goes over there and starts talking to her to try to figure out what's going on. She fucking slams her beer down on the bar, and she's fucking screaming. So as I finish up their food and I'm starting to walk over, the owner just kind of comes over and grabs the food and like brings it over to them. And so then, like, as I'm, like, grabbing, like, dishes and stuff, and she's about to walk out, and he's, like, apologizing, like, whatever, you know, and helping out whatever he can. And then she looks over at me when she's about to walk out, turns around, comes back over, and she's like, listen. She's like, I bartend in Vegas, and we've never treated anybody in the industry like you did tonight. And I was like, I apologize if I offended you anyway. I was like, I don't know, like, the way the system works for that kind of thing. You know, and the thing is, like, I don't know that she's in the industry, and I don't give a shit if you're in the industry or not. Like, I treat everybody the same.
And most people that are in the industry are more sympathetic to others in the industry.
Yeah, because it's like, all right, if you're in the industry, you see that I'm by myself versus like 30 people, and I'm cooking and serving drinks.
Yeah.
Like, exactly. So I was like, and she starts going on. I was like, listen. And she's like, also, by the way, I only wanted 1 gyro, not 2. And mind you, I'm 100% sober.
Yeah.
And so all I said was, okay, I'm sorry. That's my fault. I thought you said 2. I apologize. And then she starts rambling on, and she's like, LGBT this, LGBT that. And she's like, I'm B. And I'm like thinking, like, what, you're bisexual because, what, you made out with a chick once at the bar when you're hammered? Like, what the fuck does this have to do anything?
Good for you, lady.
Yeah. And then she's rambling on, and so the owner's like, I don't understand what this has to do with literally anything that just happened here tonight. And she's just going on, she's like, I come here to visit my significant other during Christmas time. And also, mind you, while she's going on, he's standing right behind her. And he's like, babe, it's not the big deal. She's like, no, shut the fuck up. You know, like, go check on her. Make sure she's fine. And then, like, And he's like, God damn it. And then he waits a few minutes. He's like, babe, seriously. And she's like, no, fuck you. I'm running this shit. And like takes her hand and like mushes his face away. And we're like, holy fuck. Then she's like, yeah, I come here at Christmas time to visit my significant other. She's like, the whole time I've been in Cleveland, everyone's been a fucking asshole to me. I don't get, what the hell. She's like, what's fucking wrong with this town? And of course I'm thinking, probably because you're a shitty drunk bitch and you're treating people like shit and we don't fucking want you here. Go back to Vegas. Fuck off. And then eventually we're like, sorry, thanks for coming in. And then she fucking stormed off.
Jeez.
So
these people.
I know. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? And it's fucking Christmas also. Like,
yeah, Christmas Day.
Yeah, Christmas Day. Like, fuck you. So as I'm like cleaning up the bar and stuff, because mind you, it was so busy, I had no clean dishes, like cups and stuff. When someone's like, oh, I need these shots, I literally had to clean shot glasses in order to make shots.
Sucks.
Someone's like, I need this draft, I need this mixed drink. I had to wash those because I had zero time.
And you're by yourself.
Yeah, by myself. So what I thought was really funny is that like when I was like cleaning off the bar, and I'm kind of talking and looking for this here, I see her tab sitting there, and I was like, oh, geez, okay. So I'm walking up to it, expecting it to be like, oh, like $0 or whatever the case may be. Oh, geez. Give me a second here.
Tony's thumbing through his phone looking for a picture right now.
Yeah, thanks. Keep the listeners busy here for a second. I should have maybe prepared a little better for this. Shouldn't I have?
I'll tell my sister not to go to your bar anymore, Tony. I apologize.
Oh, here it is. I'm a big dummy. Okay. So I went over to look at her receipt that she signed, her credit card slip. Over. Her tab was $15. She actually tipped me $10. But at the bottom it says, you're a dick, eat a bag, asshole. Take a look at that.
Yep.
I was like, dude, that's fucking hilarious. I was like, this is so good. And I was like, as much of a cunt she was, she still tipped me $10.
Yeah.
But now she's expecting me to eat a bag of dicks.
Yeah.
But she didn't come back to even like witness it. So if I see her again, I'd be like, yeah, I totally did. But after you left, I did it after
her.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's bipolar if I've ever seen it. Yeah. You're like, you hate somebody and then you like give them a $10 tip on a $15 tab.
Yeah. So she obviously, she knows she works in the industry.
She's just irrational.
Yeah, because that's more than 50%, Yeah. So she, fuck her. I feel bad for that dude.
I know.
Like, that's your girlfriend?
Yeah.
Like, and you have to deal with that shit? It only takes for that dude to, like, fart in front of her, and then she's going to blow up on him.
Well, he's here.
Right.
She's in Vegas, supposedly.
Right.
Eating box in Vegas. That's what she's doing. She's just in Vegas, just doing nothing but munching box.
Yeah.
Comes here, loses their shit on Tony.
I know. So, yeah, that was also 2017. Christmas.
Yeah, leave that behind you.
Yeah, it's
my
in the
big
books.
beard. It's back there with my big beard.
Yeah, and my broke back. Mm.
Oof. Oh, I know what I wanted to ask you about. I want to talk about Black Mirror.
Oh.
So I've watched this whole new season of Black Mirror, and I haven't talked about it to anybody yet.
Okay. I did watch one episode.
Yeah. Did you watch that episode I told you?
Right. And
I like that episode because unlike Black Mirror, it wasn't as scary as usual, and it kind of had a happy ending.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, and for everybody that's listening, it was the episode where they get matched up for like a relationship.
Yeah.
And then they have these like little meters where they check to see like what the expiration date for how long they're supposed to date for, right?
Right.
Yeah. So go on.
That's my first question.
Go on.
Is like, if you had, if you were able to tell when you first start dating somebody how long that relationship was going to last, would you check that? Like, would you want to know?
I mean, I don't know. Like, kind of. And I'm trying not to spoil anything for anybody that hasn't watched it yet, but like the way that dude,
yeah, Well, even like that aside,
just on the first date, because there was times as soon as they get there, they're like, hey, let's just check it to see how much time, like, if we're wasting time or
like
not.
what everybody did all the time.
Right. So, like, essentially what they did is that they would meet at a diner or a restaurant, and then they're waiting for their food, and then they would click this button together, and it would tell them, you guys are only going to be dating for 36 hours or a couple years or a handful of months. And so essentially, I mean, if you know that you only have 36 hours to actually date this person, I mean, essentially, you're just going to be like, well, we can have sex, I guess, right?
And that's what they did.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a spoiler. Like, that happens right off the bat. But what, like, if you could find out right now, like, anytime you date somebody new, like, how long that relationship would last, or if it would end, or whatever, would you want to know that?
I think I wouldn't until things got really sour. Because, I mean, every relationship you get into fights with shit, you know? So, like, and normally you could patch things up, but sometimes you just get to a certain point, you're like, oh, God, I fucking hate this bitch. You know, and I'm really trying to keep things together. So I think at that point, but the thing is, though, too, is that you have to click it together. Like, the guy and the girl have to click their buttons like together to find out. Yeah. Right. So then I'd be like, hey, we're not happy. Let's just click this and see.
Well, here's I'll pose it the other way.
Okay.
Like, say you just have a magic 8-ball at home, and anybody you start dating, you go home, you shake the magic 8-ball, it'll tell you how long this relationship will last. Would you want to know that, even if they didn't know that?
I think this is tough because I think maybe at first I would be, if this was like a new toy that I have, then I would definitely be using it. But I think if I met somebody that was like really into, that I really loved, that I'd be like, I don't want to know. I just want to just ride this out for as long as I can.
So they also make it clear in the episode that, like, you can't get out of it, you know? So if it's 5 days or 5 years, you can't get out of it.
Right.
So
yeah, you can't like break up with them.
That's enough reason for me to never want to check it, because I'm like, I don't want to think about having to be here for 5 years, let alone or 5 days. You know what I mean?
Right.
But like, so you can't do anything with that information except count down the clock, or, you know.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're in a really shitty situation, you're just gonna be counting down the days like you're in jail. Like, just waiting for the day for you could finally get out of there.
Yeah.
And that's just miserable and, like, mentally.
Yeah, would you want to know that? I think you're onto something. Like, that's what I would do, too, is, like, I wouldn't want to know that until I was about to make, like, a decision.
Right.
Where it was like, you know what? I'm going to dump that person tomorrow. And then I would check with this thing and be like, if it says anything but tomorrow,
I'm just gonna kill myself.
Yeah.
No, I think that if things were going really well and I was really into her, then I wouldn't even bother checking. I wouldn't want to know. I would just want to fucking write it out and see how long things go for.
Yeah.
But I think if things got really sour where I just couldn't stand being around him anymore, I would probably be like, how much longer do I have to deal with this? And the same rules apply, right? Like, you can't
forever.
You can't leave.
What if it told you forever?
Like, that was my forever person?
Yeah. Then maybe your mindset would change and you'd start working towards a forever plan instead of working towards a, how can I get out of this plan?
I would essentially make it like prison. I'm going to find a way to escape. Like, I know, like, I'm just going to find a way that I, you know, like...
I'm going to treat you so bad that this ends. That's always healthy.
No, if
that's
I have
the best way to break up with someone is...
I'm just going to disappear.
On this episode of Freddie's relationship advice, if ever you want to break up with someone, just take the easy route and hurt them so bad that they want to get away from you.
You know, or you could spend all this time like you're building a garden, but you're actually just digging a tunnel to get out of, you know, without being seen. And then you just kind of do like how a lot of people's like fathers, where you're just like, hey, I'm going to go buy a pack of smokes. Yeah. And then you just leave and don't come back.
Yeah. Well, not even with just relationships. What if you looked at it like any endeavor? Like, okay, say you're 18, or say, I didn't really go to college. I didn't really try going to college until I was like 22 or something, maybe older than that. And say you were like, I'm gonna sign up for college tomorrow, and then you check the Magic 8 Ball, and it said, this ends well in 4.5 years. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, does that make a difference to you, or does it like for me? Sometimes I think if I could just see what the future is, that takes a whole lot of pressure off of me.
But didn't you say previously on an earlier episode that you wouldn't want to know what the future was?
Yeah. And even with like the relationship thing, I wouldn't want to know.
Right.
But I do feel like half of my
depending
stress,
on what the situation is.
Yeah.
So if you're like school's very stressful,
I might be able to do better in school if I didn't worry as much about like the yes or no, pass or fail. I might be able to embrace it.
So you're saying like it'll tell you definitely like either you're gonna pass and do well within 4 years, or you're gonna make it 3.5 and then drop out.
Right.
So now.
So that means like, oh, now I'm in debt $50,000 and I don't have a degree.
Well, but you pay for each semester, right? So if you drop, let's say you drop out, if you find out in your first semester that you're gonna go a couple of years and drop out anyways, you're actually gonna save yourself a lot of money.
But just like in Black Mirror, you can't change anything.
Okay, so you're stuck there for the full 4 years, no matter what.
I guess I would want to know, because then you're like, I won't give it 100%. Because 100% is a failure. So I'll give it 30%, still failure.
Yeah, I think that that's the best way to treat it.
Yeah.
Is if you know you have to be stuck there for 4 years anyway, if you're going to fail, you might as well be like fucking Van Wilder. Just fucking party it up and be... Yeah, or just don't go at all. You can't get kicked out, so you just don't go at all. And you just have like parties and do fun shit all the time, like.
I mean, if you had that, I don't think with a relationship that I was serious about, I would ever want to know like how it ends, because
that's like the beauty of it, not knowing.
Yeah. But and it like that. Okay, so one, I feel like it would sculpt how I felt in one of the situations where it was like, here comes 5 years, It said only 5 years, so after like 4.5 years, I'm like, I'm not even trying. Or after like 3 years, I'm not even trying. I'm
right.
just waiting for that 5-year mark. So I think it would like sculpt my actions in a bad way. But also I feel like it could do like the exact opposite. Like then you could like, I don't know, I don't see it. I don't know.
Okay, so like what if so what if like it says like, yeah, you're gonna pass like after 4 years, and then now by your actions can that change?
Yeah.
Like if you're like, oh well, I'm gonna pass in 4 years anyways, but you slack off and like and fail a bunch of classes, well, does that change, or is it just set in stone?
Well, I guess that's the point that I forgot that I was gonna say.
I saw that.
Life is still worth living if you're not going for the goal.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So if you and this person are going to spend 5 years together, you both know you're going to spend 5 years together. You're not in it for the destination.
Yeah. So it ruins everything.
You're in it together for the journey now.
Right.
So you spend the next 5 years learning from your interactions with this person on how to conduct your life.
Right.
Or you don't have to learn, but you could look at it like, I'm going to learn valuable lessons in this next 5 years. This is
because it could be
the rest of my life with, right?
Yeah, because it could be a useful tool in the next relationship.
Just like college, when I went to college, the most valuable thing wasn't about like what I learned in books and in the classroom, but it was like how to navigate my life, how to still pay my gas bill and come up with tuition or come up with money for textbooks or whatever, like how to the grind, or knowing that I can go 2 days without sleeping and still get things done.
Right.
Like now I know I can do that if I have to, so I feel better about living my life now.
Mm-hmm.
I normally don't have to.
Right.
But like, so it's not about the destination, which is the degree. It's about everything you learn between
on the way there. Yeah.
And just like in a relationship, it's not about. It can't be about you focusing on spending the rest of your life together with this person. It needs to be about like that day to day, what you're learning in that.
Yeah. And what's funny too is that like I treat life that way, kind of like in even like relationships or someone that you might date at a short period of time or someone that you're hanging out with, whatever the case may be. I feel like that everybody that comes in your life is to teach you something. You know, whether it's something new and fun about yourself, or maybe something that's really annoying, you know, that you're like, oh, well, I should, you know, whatever the case. Maybe you have really bad hygiene and never really thought about it. And then like your others like, dude, you need to fucking take showers or brush your teeth or whatever the case may be, you know, and then you're like, oh, okay, I should start doing that. Or, you know, just new experiences and finding new things that you start to learn and love, you know, that's how I treat like how everybody that comes into your life, like someone that's around on a regular basis or often or whatever, you know, they're there to teach you something, whether about yourself or about them or just life in general. Not knowingly, it's just something that you just take in and experience on your own.
Yeah, so the value isn't in, you found that perfect person you're going to spend the rest of your life with. The value's in you had a companion for a time that you shared each other's company.
Yeah, exactly. And it could go for anything. You know, it's like I said, something funny that, you know, you found that's new. It could be even like sexual. It could be fetishes, you know, it could be just, I mean, I don't know, just things that you'll learn for in the next relationship or something job wise or whatever it may be. So I take literally like everybody in as that.
Yeah. And that's why you get better as like you get older. You pick better people to be around because you're like, oh, I know I don't want that and I do want
Exactly.
this. I know I don't want this and I do want this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, or you get more self-reliant, you know, like there's a lot of good things that come from being with somebody that's not all like, that's not going to be your, like, I don't really regret any of my past relationships.
Right.
And I don't regret anything, like, I don't regret a lot of these things because I see the value in them, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And if I had that 5, like, this isn't the end, like, this isn't going to be a lifetime of, this isn't who you're going to be living life with. Like, I wouldn't want to know that because that might shape, like, how you act from there on out.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think like relationships have a huge part of it because like that's essentially what everyone's, you know, looking for like on a day-to-day basis. You know, you find someone you like, you start dating and hanging out, and then you come, you know, in an actual relationship. And even when it ends sour, you know, then you could be like, well, this person acted this way with the relationship, so like maybe you have now new things that when something comes up, you have something like you'll see it and be like, well, this is the same way it was going on in the last relationship. Now you know what to look for.
Yeah.
You know, whether they're losing interest, they're talking to somebody else, whatever the case may be, it's all learning from experience and, you know, and taking it all in and figuring out like, well, you know, that's that.
Yeah. That's one thing I found. I don't want to ruin it for people who haven't seen it. This is kind of a spoiler a little bit, but in the episode, one thing I found fascinating was how like either cordial they were with each other when a relationship was ending.
Yeah.
Or like how like, yeah, I don't really have anything to say to you after all this time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I found that fascinating.
Yeah.
It was like, is that how you would really react after all this? Like, because if you didn't know that you were going to spend 5 years together, say you're going to spend 5 years together, or 3 years, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It was in the show. But you're just waiting for that 3 years to be up at some point. You're paired up together. You're kind of stuck with each other for 3 years. When it's over with, in normal life, you're like, I just wasted 3 years with you.
Right.
Think about, like, yeah, that was me, like, building as a person. That was me growing.
Right.
Figuring things out. That was me helping you along the way. I learned a lot from helping you.
Yep.
I learned a lot from you helping me.
Right.
You're more like, you're focused on, I just wasted another 3 years.
Yeah.
You know? That's one thing I think that is missing out of that show is, like, the day-to-day struggles.
Mm-hmm.
It's like living in utopia, you
Right. Yeah.
That's how you would feel.
Yeah. I did think that was kind of funny too. That like they're just standing outside and they're just like, okay, well, they're waiting for the counter to tick down to 0. Like, okay, well, see you later, and that's that, and then you part ways, and then you move on to your next date. I mean, it's kind of like a more futuristic Tinder, the way that episode is.
Yeah.
To kind of help
Because
explain
you
to people that are listening.
You assign your life to them.
Yeah.
You sign everything over.
Right.
Which seems like ideal in one way and like terrible in another. That's a terrible trade-off.
Mm-hmm.
Like you also have the very next day you have a date.
Yeah. That's how
the very
it went.
next day after a relationship ends, you have a date.
Yep.
So, like, that's probably reassuring, which you're like, all right, that wasn't the person for me. Today is the day for the person for me. You know?
And it's actually like on Tinder, you have to like match with somebody when that thing, like, you're just in the middle of doing whatever, whether you're shopping or exercising, and then your thing goes off and says, hey, you have a date tomorrow at this time.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay. So you're like, all right, well, try to see how this one goes. Yeah.
That's a fascinating show, huh?
Yeah. I mean, they're all like super good. I haven't watched any of this season, and I watched that episode because I know you wanted to. You said that one sparked your interest and wanted to talk about it. So,
man, that one, I watched that one late at night, and I was like, I couldn't sleep after it. I was like,
this really boggled your mind.
Yeah, there's like so much to think about. Not with relationships necessarily, but with like, just if you knew that in advance.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, what would you do different, or how would you respond different? That show always gets me though.
That's a great fucking show.
I know. I killed that whole season already.
That's what Gary did too.
Did he?
Yeah, he like watched them all in like a day. I don't know how many episodes are in the new season.
I think it's only like 6, but they're an hour long.
Right. No, he like, I remember like waking up from like my nap and he was watching them, and then I like went out and like did something, and then I came back and he was still watching them. So
I try to make them last.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I know it's all over with, I'm like, oh man, I forgot there's only 6. So when I get to like that 5th one, I'm like, I'll take another day off,
Mm-hmm.
But I don't watch much. Like I watch 1 a day, but
right.
It's a good
It's
show.
a really cool show, yeah. And speaking of Gare, I do have a little update on stories. And obviously you guys have no idea. Garrison did just have a little pop-up and walked through our beat laboratory here. But so you know how like the chick from the Cranberries just passed away?
Yeah.
The singer for the Cranberries? And apparently, and I was like, oh, that's crazy, And I actually just found out recently, last night, that she OD'd on fentanyl.
Is that right?
Yeah, which I guess is the same thing that she was trying to do like 4 years ago.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know either. So what the thing is that, the person that was affected the most, I think, was poor Garrison.
Why?
Well, I got home and he was listening to Cranberries' Zombie, right?
Yeah.
And I was having like a smoke, and I didn't really hear, like, I heard music when I was walking past his room. Then I went and had a smoke, and I kept hearing some like sounds, and so like I like paused for a second, and then I could hear Zombie playing. So I was like, okay. And then I started digging around on my phone for a while, and then another like 10 minutes passed, and I hear, and I'm like, oh, Zombie is still playing. And I'm like, what the hell? So then, like, I'm still messing on my phone, like, have, like, another smoke, and another, like, 10 or so minutes pass by. I can hear Zombie playing again. Like, this poor kid had Zombie on loop. He's just listening to Zombie over and over and over. So what it seems is that...
We've already talked about his listening habits are a little peculiar.
Yeah. And it sounds to me that Garrison was really letting it linger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
listen to Zombie over and over. It had to be for like a half hour. I mean, then I eventually went to bed and, put Ace Ventura on and fell asleep, but that kid was just listening to Zombie just over and over and over.
Did you ask him about this?
No.
No?
No. So just deny the whole thing.
Because the mystery is better.
It is much better.
Yeah.
What's also really great.
That's really funny. You're like, this is really affecting Garrison.
Yeah. Poor guy.
They have like other songs.
Yeah. I mean, I just made a linger joke, you know? Lingers, that was another big hit. I think there was at least one more that was like a
some
hit.
Really good Black Sabbath covers.
Okay.
That were like Cranberries meets Black Sabbath, which is cool.
So yeah, I mean I've never heard those.
If you just want to hear Zombie over and over, you could do that.
Yeah, I mean you're an adult, you can you could do what you want to. I was never like a huge Cranberries fan. I mean obviously if any of those hits came on the radio, I'd leave it on and I'd sing along to it. But like, yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was really peculiar that he just listened to Zombie. I mean who knows how long he was listening to it before. And this is like like the other day, like I think it was like the night of like that. It was like posted up like, hey, she passed away. I think it was like that night. So I don't know when that happened, like Monday maybe. Yeah.
But he's never mentioned to you that he's a fan of them before.
Never. I've never heard anything about Cranberries ever, and I thought this was like fucking hilarious. Like
Garrison is a mystery.
Yeah, I love the kid.
Yeah.
And what's really funny is that like a bunch of us were out recently, and we were at this one bar that has a Papa Shot. Which is like the basketball game where you get like a minute or whatever and just score as much as you can. And
I thought you were going to say they had touch tunes. So I played that song 18 times and stared at him the whole time.
Just waiting to see if he picked up on it like, yeah. I know.
I'm sorry, you're telling me about the Papa Shot?
Yeah, so like we were like, okay, like let's all play Papa Shot. And because we were playing like the bar bowling, first, and like he gets competitive when it gets to these games, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna start this off, and I haven't played Papa Shot in probably at least a year minimum, and so like I got 37, right? Not a great score, but we also have been drinking for a handful of hours, and so Garrison's standing next to me, and he's like, hi, he's like calling me like a douchebag. He's like, when the hell do we get 8-year-olds in here coming and playing Papa Shot? Just like throwing these burns at me, right? So I go, Garrison, if you get less than 37, I'm having these guys hold you down and I'm kicking you in the fucking nuts. You better not get less than 37. Garrison gets up there. You know what he scored?
36. Tell me 36.
12. He scored 12. I didn't uphold my end of the bargain, but I think the humiliation was much better.
What did he say afterwards?
Oh, he every excuse he could possibly think. I was like, what's going on with this game? This thing's got to be rigged. Yeah. I'm like, no, you're just a retarded person, and it's not throwing it into the hoop like you're supposed to. And all of us were laughing at him. I even got it on Snapchat.
That's great.
Like, oh, hey, 12. And I look at one from like, was that your score? And he goes, oh, no. And I look over at Garrison, and Garrison like flicks me off and like swings to knock my phone out of my hand. I go, Garrison got 12. So that made it all the better. So I just wanted to have a Garrison update.
That's good.
For the listeners that look forward to it.
I'm glad he hasn't changed at all. That's hilarious.
I love the kid, and it's living with him is an adventure.
It's hilarious to me that you did confront him on it, because I would be like the Cranberries thing. I'd be like, so what's up with that song? You really like that song, huh? Like I couldn't not. I wouldn't be able to go to bed. But
I don't like to ruin anything.
You're right. The story's better as long as you don't know.
Right. And I've already talked about the Miley Cyrus thing.
Yeah.
And in that instance, the story is actually better than what the imagination is, because Kev busted him and he was completely shocked. And
you never call him out on it.
Oh, the only time that I ever bring up the Miley Cyrus thing is that like if we're like in my car or whatever, and I have some like screamo band or pop punk song that comes on, and he's like, "Ugh, why you gotta listen to this like faggy shit, blah blah blah," and I go, "Okay, Garrison, do you remember that you fucking listen to Miley Cyrus, you fucking dummy?" And then his excuse is, I only listen to it because she's hot. Yeah. And I go, oh, really? Is that it?
Yeah.
You only listen to Miley Cyrus because she's hot. Like, are you going to start blowing dudes because you think, like, a guy is, like, a good actor?
Right.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So I like to bring that up when he makes fun of my music.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I think that makes him even better.
He's my favorite person. And I think that goes for a lot of people out there, too.
He does not look like the type of dude that would ever listen to the Cranberries
or Miley Cyrus.
No.
I'm pretty sure he's up there with Katy Perry as well. Which, I listen to her because she's hot.
Yeah.
She's got big boobs, so That's those are the excuses I'll get when I call them out for Katy Perry.
Do you? Is there any pop music that you like that you're just like, I shouldn't like this, but I do?
I don't really listen to the radio much at all, but like, to be honest, a lot of those like pop songs, like Taylor Swift. I mean, life's too short to not like Taylor Swift. Am I right?
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, her songs come on, they're catchy, they're stuck in my head. I sing along to them. I mean, a lot of those like pop songs, like I probably know majority of the words of them. But I'm also not the kind that gets embarrassed going like, oh, I like T Swift or Adele or Katy Perry or whatever, and be like, I can't let anybody know that. It comes on, I start singing, everybody else is singing, we have a great time. I don't care about that.
I always feel like that good's good. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, there's some things I think have more soul than others. Like they really mean what they're singing about. And I think there's a value to that, but most of the time I don't give a shit.
Right.
Good's good.
Yeah, and there's a new artist out there I just recently found. His name's Andy Black, and he does a cover of Adele, When We Were Young. And I don't really listen to Adele, and I don't really listen to the radio, so I mean I know a handful of her singles. I didn't know this one, but him and this other chick that was like a featured artist on there, and they covered it, and it's a really good fucking like cover.
Do you remember what that other chick's name was? That name sounds real familiar.
Well,
you don't gotta look it up.
We have the internet. I can still talk about this while we look it up.
Sometimes covers are, because they're a mix of both bands, like they're their interpretation of the song.
Right.
Sometimes covers are great.
Yeah, and it's Juliet Sims.
I don't know.
So I don't know what she's in, if she does solo stuff, or if she's like a vocalist for another band. But both of them kill it. It's really fucking good. So I was like, I love this song a lot. I should go and hear what Adele's version sounds like. And her version's like really slow, and it sounds kind of empty.
I'm familiar with it, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like empty. Like, it kind of ruined it for me for Adele's version, because like this Andy Black guy, like it's very like powerful and very full, I'm like, and he's got like a real deep vocals, but going from that to the original, I'm like, this sounds like nothing. Like, this sounds like the demo version of what his cover is, like, and sometimes the covers are better than the originals, like that happens, and that sucks, but
yeah,
and sometimes that goes for movies, shows,
sure.
That are better than the books or whatever.
Well, like if you think about it this way, and Adele's an exception. I think Adele writes a lot of her own music, but
right,
some covers, when they're covered, the people that are covering them have more of a reason to sing them than the people that are singing them. If it's just a pop star that doesn't write their own music, it's not coming from an actual personal place,
right?
Like that. I think like that's like a sense that we all have that you can't quite pinpoint, like that. I always talk about Charlie Parker quote is, if you don't live it, it won't come out of your horn. Like if you don't really have the blues, it's not going to sound the same as somebody who really has the blues that's playing the blues, you know?
So you're saying that, like, let's say
so that song might have meant more to those people than it did, not to Adele.
Well, because I think Adele is definitely,
she really wrote that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But like if it's another pop star who, these songs aren't written by these pop stars. These songs are written by whoever, a whole team of people and marketing and everything that goes along with it. So sometimes a cover will be better because they have a reason to sing it. That song spoke to them. They wanted to do their own version of it, more so than the original artist that recorded it.
Yeah. What a job that is for someone that's like
All Along the Watchtower. Jimi Hendrix, right? That's not his song.
Yeah.
But it, like, that's all we think of when we hear that song.
Right, yeah.
It's a Dylan song. Pretty sure it's Dylan.
I don't know. But, like, what a job that would be for, like, a musician that's like, I want to write music, but I have stage fright, so I can't go up and do this. Yeah. So they just...
That's the way I am with comedy. I'd love to be a comedy writer.
Yeah. And then, like, that's a fucking...
But it's not even that. It's a lot of, Emerson grads. Like, a lot of these, like high fluting schools, like, that are writing these songs for these people.
Mm-hmm.
It's like people that would rather be doing something else, but their job is to write songs. There was a book I read when it first came out. It must have been like 4 or 5 years ago now, and it was all about that. It was like, it's just like this team of Jewish writers that sit in a room and write songs for all of the biggest pop stars.
Yeah.
It was like fascinating. Like, oh, that's also.
Was it a book or was it a documentary?
It was a book.
Okay.
I don't even. I think that might have been like one of the first like Audible books where I listened to on tape. Like I listened to it rather than read it. I don't really remember.
Okay.
But it was really fascinating because it's like, oh, that's the element missing in a lot of pop music is that you don't really mean it. It's not inside you. You're just the showman.
Right.
You're an instrument. You're just the person singing it.
Right. I mean, they're making all the money, but I mean, they are performing it.
Right.
So, but yeah, that would be a crazy like job to have.
Yeah.
When
I worked at that place I told you about before, Caravan, that job I had in high school and then carried it out outside of high school too.
Yeah.
That guy, they were all sound guys and they were all like musicians and they knew music. And I'm a dumb high schooler, and whatever I bring into play, like we have speakers, and I'm a weekend guy. If I'm a weekend worker, I can listen to whatever I want.
Right.
Whatever I brought into play, they kind of ruined for me. You know what I mean? So if I brought in White Stripes.
Wait, real quick, you're talking about that job you had, like working with those older dudes.
Yeah.
And like where you brought like the girl in and all that. Okay, go ahead.
So I would work there after school. So they'd get off of work at 3:30. I'd get there by 3:30. And I'd work by myself until, 9, 10 o'clock at night, sometimes 8 o'clock or midnight,
right.
Depending on what I had. And after hours, you can listen to whatever you want on they have a whole sound system in here and then in there. It was pretty awesome. And I would play stuff and the manager would stay late and he would work and he would ruin whatever I brought in. Like he would tell me who it sounded like, who their influences were. He's like, this is great, but I liked it better. Like with White Stripes, He was like, oh, this is great, but I liked it better when Led Zeppelin did it. And I was like, oh, man. Or it was like Jack Johnson at the time.
Right.
This is 2000, 2001 or whatever. If I'm playing Jack Johnson, he's like, oh, this is great, but Steve Miller Band did this first.
Yeah.
So now, like, I can't stop doing that. Like, I'm the old curmudgeon that's all music is ruined for.
That's unfortunate, but hilarious on my end.
Yeah. So when people are like, and I like hearing like summertime club music where it's like a Bruno Mars song comes on. It's like, oh, that's great. Or Justin Timberlake.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, that's great, but I liked it better when Michael Jackson did it. Like I'm always that now.
Yeah,
That guy ruined me. Chuck ruined me. He so now
he molded you to the curmudgeon man you are to this day.
Yeah. So I can't enjoy it as much.
So I was actually going to text you this the other day, but I forgot. And sorry, I'm changing subjects real quick. Apparently this has been blasted as a thing that's happened to a lot of people. Do you know what poop knives are? That's probably not the angle where you thought I was going to go with this, did you?
No.
Do you know what poop knives are?
No.
Okay.
I know what a puke knife is.
Okay,
I've heard of this.
We're going to get to the... Well, actually, you tell me what your puke knife is first.
I've heard of people having a puke knife for when like they're drinking and they're spinning or they're sick or whatever, and they jam like a plastic knife down their throat.
Okay, a plastic knife. I was like, that's fucking dangerous.
Poop knife.
Okay, so a poop knife is apparently something that people have when they drop giant turds and it won't flush down, so they keep this knife around to cut their poop up into smaller pieces and flush it down.
This is a lie.
I shit you not. No pun intended.
This is an urban legend.
This became a thing. And I started like looking into this and like Reddits and all that. And somebody,
what kind of third world country are these people living in that their plumbing won't take?
Or how big are your fucking turds?
Yeah, like, what is your diet like?
I know, like, and it's probably been a long time, but I remember when I was younger, I used to have some huge turds that, like, like when I was like at the Bunce house, sometimes I'd leave them in there just for Blake to find. You know?
You're a bad man.
Yeah, I know. You don't have to tell me. But other times it's like, oh, I have to flush it a couple times so we're at the point where it like folds up and like breaks itself down and then you can get it down the hole. That's happened to me before. A poop knife has never even crossed my mind. But this came through recently on the internet.
No.
And apparently this person, it took them 22 years to realize that poop knives weren't a thing. So apparently...
For the last 22 years, they've been chopping turds?
Yeah. So, like, all through growing up, his family had this poop knife that they kept...
No.
Like, somewhere, like, in the bathroom or whatever, and then if your poops are too big, you cut your poop up, and then you flush the toilet, right? And I guess this kid was over at a friend's house, and they're all, like, hanging out, drinking or whatever, and he's like, yeah, I had to go take a shit. So he's in there, and he's pooping, and he's like, oh, man, like... This one's a huge one. So he, like, cracks open the door and starts yelling at his friend that owns the house, asking where his poop knife is. And the dude's like, wait, what did you say? And then, like, they, like, turn down the music to hear what he's saying. And he's like, yeah, I need to know, like, where's your poop knife? I need it. And then everybody that's in this house is like, what the hell is a poop knife?
What is a poop knife?
Yeah, so he's like, you know, like a poop knife. Like, you cut your poops up so you can flush them down the toilet. And everybody in this house started fucking losing it. Like, what the fuck is going on? And so, yeah, so apparently that's a thing. And then as they start reading deeper and deeper, and people like ever are like confessing more, they're like, oh, my family had a hanger that we used, like a poop hanger, like a wire hanger that would do essentially the same thing.
What the fuck?
Yeah. There was ones of like, there was one family that apparently they had a couple bathrooms that all like the laundry room was kind of like the center of all of them, so they kept the poop knife in there. So no matter what bathroom you're in, you can go grab the poop knife. One story, this girl's like, the first time my boyfriend slept over my house, he pooped and couldn't get it down. And he was really embarrassed. So I said, don't worry about it. She's like, because I take huge poops. She's like, I'll handle this shit for you. She said she wrapped 5 plastic bags around her hand and smushed up his shit until it went down.
Oh my God.
Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, that's so fucked up. Like, what is happening?
Tony, like, I thought we were bottom of the barrel. I thought you and I were just the dirtiest, grimiest people there are.
I know. And, you know, like, how many episodes did it take me to, like, not talk about a bodily function? Which, well, this is... If we had a sign right now that said, go on this many episodes without talking about bodily functions, now we'd have to start back at 0.
Wait. No. Like, this can't be real.
I don't
First
know.
of all, like...
People
you know,
were confessing
like,
this on Reddit. Go on, what?
And all these people are in the United States.
I guess so. I mean, I don't know.
We've got a diet problem in the United States.
Yeah, well, I imagine with all the fast foods and what have yous.
The,
obesity. I mean, imagine if you're a huge person, you'd probably take bigger poops.
Well, dude, you think about, like, I can eat like a maniac.
Yeah.
Especially in the wintertime, you know? And I used to eat, like, fast food like crazy. Like, I've gotten, like, chubby in the winter, put on a few pounds.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Weight? Yeah.
What do you have to eat to be as big as some of the people you see walking down the street?
Well,
You just have to be eating nonstop.
just all the time. Yeah. And then you got to think about, too, is that, like, I play handball, I play kickball, you're running, you know, you're trying to be active, whatever you can.
Yeah.
But a lot of these people that are huge, they're just eating greasy foods all the time.
And, like, having a lethargic life.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they're not getting up, they're from the couch, you know, they're not doing anything active. And then with all the pop and all the sugar and all that shit.
I remember people, like, it was always, like, a funny thing, like, when they're, like, here's a hatchet, make sure you chop up that log in there before you flush it down. You know, like, in dirty, like, factories that you've worked at. Like, people have said that, and it's just funny.
Yeah.
Nobody ever means it.
But how many people do you think in that factory they're, like, making a joke, and I'm using quotations, but actually it was like, these people have no idea that I have a poop knife at home.
I guess I never thought about that before.
Yeah. Somebody else posted that she said that her family uses a spatula, which they call the shatula. So,
what the fuck? Do these people just have bad plumbing, bad diets, or what? What's their deal?
I don't know. And the guy that was like,
you can increase the amount of water that flushes in your tank. Here's a little life hack by Freddie Miller, and it's fun. It's called a ball cock valve. Well, the old ones
have my attention.
The old ones are a ball cock valve.
Okay.
Okay, because it's a ball and it cocks as the water rises. Like this balloon floats up, so it shuts off the water flowing into your tank.
Okay.
You can increase that to how much water you need in your toilet tank. So if you're getting like a whole bunch of shit streaks on your toilet tank when you move into a new place or something like that, you can increase the amount of water flows through when you flush it.
Right.
Maybe these people just need a little plumbing lesson.
Yeah, maybe.
Or maybe these people need a nutrition lesson. Chew your food.
See, like, when I poop, I immediately, as soon as that first log drops out, I flush the toilet immediately. Just to kind of like keep that smell down. Yeah, like get it out of there. Like I usually, if there's a fan available, like when you hit the switch,
get the fart fan
I try to have that going. Which, by the way, the bathroom in the basement, I love pooping in that one because, I mean, I don't know if you've peed down there or anything yet.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know how like the ceiling's like really low above the toilet.
Yeah.
But when you're sitting there pooping, there's a fan right there above the toilet. That's only like 3 feet from the toilet.
Fan, yeah.
Yeah. So like that smell's going right up in there. So it's awesome. But I don't know, man. A poop knife has never crossed my mind.
No.
And when I was reading about this, I was like, is this like taking place in like Alabama or like West Virginia? Because that's how I feel like that's the place where like the poop knife was invented.
I don't know, but I'm worried. Like my house is old. You know, like I live in an old house. This is a pretty old house.
Yeah.
Like our plumbing is old. And it handles everything we've thrown at it so far. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even think I've had a clogged toilet.
Yeah, we haven't had one since we lived here.
I don't think I've ever really had a legit clogged toilet.
It's happened at some point in my life, but, like, it's been a long time since I've experienced a clogged toilet. I also know to, like, wipe a couple times, then flush. If you need more wipes, you know, then you let that first part go down. Then you have fresh water. Then you continue wiping.
You really hate natural resources, don't you?
Hey, I'm not cleaning up my own shit water, so.
Okay. But, like, it's amazing that this is not something in 34 years I've never come across such a thing. Like, even, like, a clogged toilet. I have had, like, other people that clog the toilet. Here's another one. If people don't know this. You got one line that feeds your toilet water, right?
Okay.
So if you're ever in a place, do you know this already?
No, go on.
Okay. If you're ever in a place, the toilet is clogged, maybe the person before you clogged the toilet, and water starts rising and it's not going down, and you're like, oh no, I'm at this chick's house and she's gonna think I took a huge shit in here. It's gonna flood everywhere.
Right.
It's probably like a quarter turn valve on the side.
Like
that
on the
one hose that goes up. Don't freak out and try to unclog it and reach your hand in there or whatever. Just turn the water off. You know what I mean? Because it's hard to think when like all this is happening. Just reach down and turn that little handle.
Then plunge it?
Then deal with it.
Okay.
But at least that stops the problem of it flowing out over top.
That's a good hack. That's something I never knew or thought of.
I'm a master plumber, dude.
Ah, apparently.
Screen printing and plumbing. Freddie Miller screen printing and plumbing. Graphic design, illustration, and plumbing.
Get a double whammy business going. You know, like selling shotguns and ice cream.
Yeah.
You know, or disco pants and haircuts.
Jesus and magic.
I got called out on this recently, and I'm just going to tell you and make it public.
Uh-oh. This is sexual assault, right? Like all the other celebrities.
So, and I don't know, maybe after I mention this, maybe we can get some comments, you know, with like the 4 or 5 listeners that we have that can like, you know, maybe they do the same thing. So far amongst all my friends, because we've gone out on like Sunday drinkings and this has came up and I've brought it up and I'm the weird guy. But when I poop, I leave my wiener on the seat of the toilet because I don't like it touching the inside of the bowl or dabbing in the water or like dabbing in the water.
Huh.
No,
Is this you
that weird?
trying to brag? Is that what this is?
No, and that's what they would say. Like, oh, okay, I got Mr. Huge Dick over here. I don't. Maybe it's because I lean forward when I'm pooping.
That might be it.
Because like when I'm pooping, I have my elbows on my knees and then I'm on my phone.
Yeah.
So I don't know if instead of like sitting up, I don't know how people usually sit.
I think this
when
is
they're...
like like I learned my way to deal with it, and you learned your way to deal with it. But you put your dick on the outside of the toilet.
Yeah, except for like when I have to pee. Obviously.
You rest it on the seat.
Yeah, so like when I have to pee, obviously I have to tuck it in. But when I'm done peeing, then it sits on the lid while I'm pooping.
That is weird, Tony.
Yeah, because it's also poop water. So if my wiener
you can't let it
in,
like,
it's dabbling in poop water.
I'm not arguing that you should let it dangle in the poop water. I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying maybe also not have it on the seat. Maybe you got something wrong.
It freaks me out.
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah, and so like I thought again, I guess this goes for the first person confessing about a poop knife. I mean, I thought like probably a lot of people did that because like when you touch that cold water, you're like, oh, ew.
I think you have an aggressive stance when you're on the toilet.
Maybe. And I'm not trying to be like, oh, I got such a huge dick that it like hangs in the water. And like I said, it could be just the position that I'm sitting in.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, that's what I thought. Like I thought like everyone's like, oh, they're playing on their phone, but like, are people just sitting up, like playing on their phones?
I think people do all sorts of things because I heard about this one dude who kept saying that he would lean back too much, like his back, not like with his legs, but with his back, that he would like start peeing and it would go outside of the toilet and run down the other side.
Oh, okay.
And
so it's like pissing in between like the
like,
lid and like the
you got a
bowl?
tiny penis, and that's not it. It's just that he's got a lean. He's got his own toilet swagger going on.
Maybe he's got like really big balls that like
dude, that's a
when,
commode. It's not an Impala.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought that I don't know if that was like weird or, I mean,
that's weird for me.
Yeah, and my friends have called me.
What about a public toilet, like where it doesn't the seats just C-shaped?
Okay, so I don't poop in public toilets if I don't have to.
Oh, okay.
Like if it's like this is bad, then I'm like I have to go. But I actually cup my dick and balls the entire time that I'm pooping. And I build a nest also. Like I put toilet paper down all around the seats, like all the way around. Even like, it's like a C lid, so like there's a gap there, and I put toilet paper down there too. So like when the pee part happens, okay, that's going on. But after that, I'm like literally cupping my dick and balls the entire time while I'm pooping because I'm like, I don't want to fucking touch anything.
Right. I'm with you on that for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Also because like those automatic flushers will flush like at any time, and it seems like they act as a dirty bidet.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be a part of that.
Mm-mm. I'm not into that life.
Yeah. Not at all.
Mm-mm.
How's Garrison feel about you just resting your dick on shit now?
Oh, you know what? I don't know if Garrison's ever been around for that conversation. I imagine if
I think
he
it's gonna
was
go like this. He's gonna say, "Tony, don't rest your dick on the toilet seat. That's the toilet seat we all have to use." And then you're gonna be like, "How about you not listen to 24 Hours of Cranberry Zombie?"
That'll be the time that I finally let it out.
Yeah.
When he calls me out for it. Speaking of, do you pee in the shower?
Sure.
Okay. Everybody pees in the shower,
Yeah.
right? That warm water hits you. This motherfucker just tried telling all of us on Sunday that he doesn't pee in the shower.
Oh.
And like
you don't believe him?
No, fuck no. I went to go grab a beer and I sat down and everyone's like, hey, Garrison says he doesn't piss in the shower. And I go, fuck off. He's like, I don't. And I was like, okay, Garrison, there's two kinds of people in this world. People who piss in the shower and fucking liars. You piss in the shower. And he's like, no, I don't. And then he's like going out with excuses. And then he's like, I don't know. He's like, maybe it comes from like in college. He's like, the house we were staying at took like a while for the water to warm up. So I would just pee in the toilet. And by that time, the water's kind of warm. And then I would jump in the shower.
Yeah. Here's the other thing. I know he's lying because he doesn't seem like the kind of guy to go to college. No. I identify with him on that because I didn't for a long time, and I still don't always. But that's because I grew up spending 18 years in a bathtub where you're just in a bathtub. I didn't pee in a bathtub.
Yeah, of course.
So I don't always, like if I'm taking a morning shower, I use the restroom, like use the toilet, and then jump in the shower, I probably don't have to pee. But any other time I have to pee, I'm gonna. It's right there.
Yeah. I do all kinds of stuff in there. Like, I brush my teeth in the shower.
Me too.
And mouthwash, all that.
Yeah.
Like, it's multi-purpose. You're already naked, so, like, you don't have to worry
Take
about...
a shit and waffle stomp it down.
You just get some plastic bags, put it over your hand, mush it up so it goes down the drain.
No, just keep pushing with your foot.
You just curb stomping your shit.
Yeah. Just waffle stomp it through that little drain.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to worry about getting toothpaste on your shirt. You know, if it does fall on like your hands or arms or belly, chest, whatever, you just adjust into the water and rinses it all off.
Yeah.
You spit it out, it goes down the drain.
Right. That's what I do.
Yeah.
The have you heard of people who take a shit, don't wipe, and then just go into the shower?
Not the not wiping part. I have a lot of friends that always take a shower after shitting, but I mean they wipe.
That's preferable.
But, yeah, you wipe
Would you want
first.
it any other way?
No, I mean you should probably wipe so you're not
Yes.
fucking up your rag or loofah or whatever.
Or
It's getting shit all over it.
yeah,
I mean, unless you're gonna go like doggy style in your shower and just let the water hit your asshole for like
those people are
10 minutes.
animals. Tony, those people are animals.
Yeah. I mean, if those people are animals, what do you call the people that have poop knives?
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Just hillbilly trash people?
I don't know. The first thing
Hillbilly
I thought
for
of was
sure.
Like there's places overseas where like you can't flush your toilet paper,
Yeah.
right? If you go to Mexico, there's like a toilet, and then there's a trash can. That's where you put your toilet paper.
Yeah, of course.
That's kind of crazy for us to
Yeah.
think about, but their plumbing can't handle it.
Yeah, and what's funny that you said that is because in that post, and I'll send you the fucking link for this just so you can read
I'm good,
this dude's
Tone.
story
I'm
and all these comments because it's great. I was fucking dying. But somebody said, this is a little different. He's like, but I lived with a guy, this Mexican that's from Mexico, and for like a long time, he was throwing his shitty toilet paper in the trash can, and it took a lot of like promising
Dude,
and other stuff that everything was
just
going to be
flush that
okay
down,
to go
man.
ahead and flush it down. You don't have to have a trash can full of shitty toilet paper that's just stinking up your bathroom.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know that's how it is in other countries, and I have friends that have gone over to I forget, some other country where they're like working with like elephants and shit like that, but they would send me pictures of like the bathrooms, and like they would be like, yeah, after you wipe you have to throw your toilet paper in the trash can. I was like, that's fucking gross.
Dude, has anybody you brought this up to, have they said, yeah, we use a poop knife?
No. I don't know. I tried asking people at work today. I tried asking I even made a post on Facebook.
Oh, really?
And I was like, poop knives? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Seriously, people? And not one person was like, oh, yeah, I use a poop knife.
I know a dude from high school that would probably have a poop knife. His whole house was just gnarly. And they weren't like poor people. They were wealthy people.
Right.
They just did not take care of their stuff.
Like, what do you think like how they say, like, the statistics are like, oh, like 1 in 5 people have an STD, and then you're hanging out with like a group of 10 people, and you're like, well, somebody here has one.
Two
or
of
at
us
least
do.
2, you know? What do you think the stats are with that? Like, 1 in how many have used a poop knife or still use a poop knife?
All right, if you opened up your phone and you saw the last 10 people that you called, right?
Okay.
Not the last 10 calls, the last 10 individual
Different people, yep.
How many of those people you think would have a poop knife? I'm going to say none.
I think none is also, I think that's a good answer.
You know why? Because we hang out with 10 people and none of them have an STD, right?
As
The
far as
other
I know.
group
Yeah,
where one person has an STD, they all have the same STD.
that's probably true.
And
so if there's
so
one
all the
person
poop
that has a
knives
poop
stick
knife-
together?
Yeah, they all have poop knives.
It's just me and you, Tone, in this big world full of people with poop knives.
I should,
I can't imagine a single one of any of my like everyday acquaintances having a poop knife.
can you do something for me?
Sure, Tone. I can't wait to hear what this is, but sure.
Can you go home and make a video like when you're like walking through the house and Amanda's sitting in the room like reading a book, watching TV, and just be like, "Hey, I picked up something," and or maybe just be like, "I need to tell you something. I have a poop knife," and then just be like, "If you need to use it, you can. I've been embarrassed, but
It'd be funnier if I'm in the bathroom, right, and I'm just start yelling down like, "Hey, can you give me a poop knife?" She's like, "What?" I'm like, "I'm gonna need you to give me a knife." And then, like, as she comes up, I just film her reaction to me explaining what I'm gonna use this for.
Please do that. It's like, "Hey, I need a knife for what? I need to cut my poop up. Like it won't flush down the toilet. It's a poop knife."
Oh, dude, that would be the funniest shit ever.
Oh my god.
I'm like, "I need you to ride or die with me on this.
Yeah.
Just go to the kitchen and get your least favorite knife. We're gonna leave this up here. Like, this knife is dead to you, so make sure it's one that you are not fond of.
Don't use your paring knife.
If it's got your grandma's monogram on it, don't bring that up here. This is something that you're never gonna miss."
Like, do we have any? Just be like, "Hey, do we have any rusty butter knives?" Like you're in the bathroom and she's like, "I don't know why." I'd be like, "I need you to go find one and bring it up to me."
She'll just bring me a razor, make sure that I cut up and down instead of side to side. Just kill yourself, asshole. Oh, man, I'm going to make that video. That'd be funny.
Please make that video. I think that'll be fucking hilarious.
Right now, I've been doing this thing that's funny where, because I'm working on my computer a lot, and anytime she's, like, walking up and down the stairs, I go, "I'm not watching pornos in here. I'm not." I said I wasn't. I'm not watching pornos in here. It gets a laugh every time.
That's good. That's good. That's weird because I say the same thing to Garrison.
Yeah. Yeah. We're both lying.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to take a knife. I'm going to drill a hole in it. I'm going to put like a shoelace on it, put a nail on the wall, and I'm going to hang it up in the bathroom and be like, "This is a poop knife."
Take a picture of it and we can post it on the Instagram.
And then I'm going to take one of those P-Touch labelers and it's going to say poop knife here. And I'll put that right above it.
Do that. Take a picture of it. We can post it on the Instagram.
Jesus.
Okay. You have anything else you want to close off with?
We did it, dude.
Okay. This is very much needed considering after our weeks of not being able to with the weather and holidays and what have yous. So we're going to close out. Everybody, thanks for listening. As you know, leave us comments. If you want us to talk about something, send us a fucking email. sweetnothingscleveland@gmail.com. You already know all of our shit for YouTube and Facebook. Sweet Nothings Podcast, Tony and Freddie. Other than that, and the Instagram, which is
Sweet Nothing CLE.
Okay. Come find us. Leave us some shit. No pun intended. Poop knives.